Shaylee, where are you? Oh, I'm gonna resurrect her. Oh, there she is! Oh, thank God. Oh, it's terrible.
Did you miss it?
Terrible. I did.
I'm back. Heaven's rad.
Oh, you were in heaven.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, of course I was in heaven. Where else would I be?
Resurrected is a brand new 2023 laptop horror film from the makers of Unfriended and Profile and Searching and Missing and all those other laptop movies. Those are all of them. I think I named all of them.
Those are all of them.
But I'm a big fan of these style of films.
Yeah,
I really, really enjoy these a lot, with Unfriended being my favorite, and then the Searching and Missings being right under that, probably equally as good. Really good stuff. So, and Profile's good. She has to say that one. But this one is definitely different and definitely unique to this subgenre of movies, because this one has a very big story.
Yeah, it does.
So bigger than I was expecting, that's for sure. I didn't really know what the plot of this movie was going in, but I will say the film is ambitious, if nothing else. So essentially, what happens is I'll say the Catholic Church figures out a way to resurrect people.
Yeah.
And starts to do so, and they essentially we jump forward in time years after they have resurrected their first person, and now the world is much different, and the church has all the power.
All of it.
Yeah, which is terrifying.
Really, really scary.
So, as far as the movie goes, I will say this. I am really impressed with the ambition, at least, right? It definitely goes overboard with it, though. I find the film to be a little too much to be believable, and you start to lose that believability that's so important in these types of films, because when you watch Unfriended, even though that's ghost stuff, right, and might not be the most believable thing, they sell it so well as believable, right? And this one, there's just moments where they just took it too far. Things felt too outlandish, and I was like, I'm kind of checking out in this place right now, and I kind of kept having that happen.
Yeah.
But I still really, really liked the concept of this film, and some of it was very good. And I was like, oh, wow, this is terrifying.
Yeah.
Right? To live in some kind of like theocratic, dystopian future for me.
Oh my gosh, so dystopian.
Man, that stuff, I was not expecting that level.
No.
I thought it was going to be like, because I knew it was something to do with like resurrected people or something. I thought it was like one person.
Sure.
I didn't think it was like
such
millions.
A huge scale. I pretty much agree with you, like exactly. I think that like there's a couple moments where it does like lose a bit of the believability, but overall, I was very invested in this story because it was so unique, and I was like just wanting to see how things played out. And I do enjoy the film, and I really did enjoy the ending as well. I think it has a good climax, like where it leads up to for me. I liked how it ended, but yeah, it was freaky to see like a world where the church runs everything, and especially because we're seeing it from an online perspective too. There's some really cool elements that are utilized to like show how involved the world is.
Yeah.
But that's the case, I think, always with these films, is that it's so creative with how things are communicated through like people moving mouses and typing and, you know, deleting things and all of that. Yeah. So I really love the style. But it was a super ambitious film.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that the first like 45 minutes 55 minutes, somewhere in that area, I thought was really good. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I'm super invested. It's in its last act for the most part that they just kind of went overboard with things where it just stopped feeling even somewhat genuine to me. And I kept kind of like losing it because of that. But I really did like a lot of this film. It's funny too, because even though I did, in the end, I ultimately was kind of, I wouldn't say meh on it. I was like underwhelmed because of how much potential I thought the film had during its runtime. And then it was frustrating to watch it fumbled, where I was like, damn, like that could have been so great. So I feel like that my disappointment in how good I thought the movie was going and then didn't end up brought my experience down even more.
I really liked the last like 5 minutes of the film. I thought that was cool. But I think that like after the 45-minute mark, like up until that point, the last like 5 minutes, things get kind of like just overboard.
Yeah.
But it was a cool film overall.
Yeah. Kind of reminded, very Orwellian.
Yes.
Right. That's definitely the tone they're going for. It's that, the Giver or not the Giver. Is like it the Giver?
The Handmaids? Oh.
The one with the book, but they made the Jeff Bridges movie.
That's the Giver.
Is the Giver?
But I don't.
Any of these movies where society has been changed for our better, but is being controlled by, some kind of dictatorship, theocracy in this instance, some group of people who think they know what's best for everybody, but it's really just a form of control.
Yeah.
And to have the Catholic Church be Big Brother.
Yeah.
Because the way that they handle, like, people's ability to be resurrected. So that's like the whole premise of the film is like, we now live in a world where the Catholic Church is in charge of saying who lives and who dies, essentially. Yeah. Like if you die, you can get brought back, but only if you live a life that they deem.
Right. That they think is acceptable.
And here's another thing. This is something I'm glad I remembered now. So damn, I'm surprised we didn't think of this, because this is my biggest issue with the film by far and away. And this is probably my own biases. So I will have a caveat there. They were taking this film in a direction. So the priest that we're following through the majority of the film, it's him and his hot sidekick, Cherub.
Yeah.
And he is like investigating something that comes up and is like the bombshell. The thing they were talking about in the bombshell, I was like, ooh, I think I know where this is going, and I really like where I think this is heading, and I think that this could be really cool exploration of this thing. And it does not go in that direction at all in a negative way. There's something going wrong with the Resurrected. And I thought that they were going to go in a much different direction that they ended up doing.
Yeah.
And to the film's detriment for me, for sure. Because I was like, oh man, if they go in this direction and they have this to say about this stuff with the Resurrected, that's awesome. Right? That's something, but that's my own biases coming out, because I really don't like the Catholic Church. So I'm already going to see them as the villains. But yeah, this just missed the mark for me because of that choice there alone for me. That's where I really was like, oh, they're not going to do that. That sucks.
Yeah.
Right?
I know what you mean.
So I think that's probably the biggest thing. And then our character Rat, she has a sex scene and we don't see her tits.
That's another complaint for you.
That's a 0 out of 10 for that. No, I'm just kidding. It's okay. I mean, it's definitely the worst of these that I've watched. but I still think it's watchable. It's on Tubi if you want to check it out.
I think it's watchable for the concept alone. Like that's
really
why
cool
I
concept.
think it's super cool and ambitious. And like if you like this style, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah. So. Yeah. If you're a fan of laptop horror, if you're a fan of all the things mentioned, the other Unfriended movie, Ratter, Open Windows, they made quite a few of them at this point. But of the ones that they've made, this studio, this is probably my least favorite, but the most ambitious.
Yeah.
So I like the swing, I just don't like the execution.
Yeah.
As in its entirety.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it I actually was super into. So do with that what you will. Check it out if you want. Let us know. Bye.